This is a big one, so let's get to it. Started with cutting off the corners of the logs and then removing as much bark as I could. It's just in the way, plus it'll help in the drying process. Then I seal the end grain so when it is drying, it dries evenly and prevents cracking. I let it sit in air dry for a couple of months before I took it over to the lathe. While I'm truing it up on the lathe, let me tell you about this project. It's a set of 5 bowls in total, 4 serving bowls and 1 bigger salad bowl. This means I started with 5 logs split in 2 to give me 10 total pieces in hopes that I would have enough for the 5 bowls I need. Because as you'll see, sometimes things don't turn out the way you think they will. I'm checking to make sure the bottom's flat for the tenon I'll put in. Now that the outside's close to the shape I'm after, I'll turn it around to start working on the inside. Even though I cut the corners off and removed the bark and let it air dry for a couple months, I'm still concerned about the moisture content. But we have a few more tricks up our sleeve with that. The first being I'm doing what's called twice turning, where you remove most of the waste of the material that you don't need. You'll get the basic shape, but leave the walls thicker than what you really want. Then after it's had some more time to dry, you can bring it back to the lathe and finish it off. Some more end grain sealer and more time to air dry. And now for another trick to help them dry, a hot snack. No time for that. Instead we're microwaving bowls. Now we don't want to cook them, we're just trying to heat them up enough to help the moisture come out. Enough drying. Now it's time to get these bowls to their final shape and dimensions. Now normally when I make a bowl, they're individual, they're unique, their own style, and no two look alike. If you go to my Etsy shop, Bolt Designs Woods, you'll see what I mean. However, this time I need to make 4 bowls identical in size and shape, and 1 larger bowl with the same basic shape to it. To help accomplish this, I used 4 different calipers all set to a specific size, and I did not change them from this point forward. I wanted to make sure that each bowl was identical in size and shape, or at least as close as you can get to that without using a computer. Here I'm now working on the larger salad bowl. I already completed the 4 smaller serving bowls, and with the larger bowl, obviously it's not the same size, but I do want to try and keep it as close to the proportions of the smaller ones. Kind of take note of the thickness of the walls of the bowl right now. Later on, when it's closer to being done, notice how thin they become. We came across an issue with this one where there's a knot that goes right through the wall of the bowl. But that's okay, we just take some dust and wood chips that are laying all around, mix it into some 5-minute epoxy, and this will end up looking quite natural when we're all done. And it's time to do some sanding. I'll take a lot of time at this with each grit, going up through multiple grits of sandpaper, until we have a nice, smooth, ready for finish product. And speaking of finish, time to put some on. I use only all natural finish. This is the tried and true original, which is linseed oil and beeswax and nothing else. Food safe, easy to use. I'll put a link in the description in case you want to check it out. But I'll put on several coats on these bowls and they will be smooth and ready to use. Well, almost ready to use. We have one more step. We need to shape the foot and remove the tenon off the bottom. And even though we're this close to the end, doesn't mean things can't go horribly wrong on you. You could still get a nasty catch and completely ruin your bowl. Not that that's ever happened. Just a little more sanding and a little more all-natural finish. And now time for some beauty shots. Don't forget to leave a like or a dislike, whichever is appropriate for you, and leave a comment. It'd be great. Thanks.